Hello, grade 11s. Welcome back to the channel, Science Therapy, hosted by the one and only science therapist, Abudewa Sos Ugobela Wemets. And without any further ado, let's look at this question that we have here. Okay, so we have question 2 and still on vectors in 2D. And then we are given here question 2. It says the diagram below shows an object P suspended from a ceiling with the aid of 3 light strings X, Y, and Z connected at point O, right? So this is suspended from a ceiling, right? And then 2.1 says define the term resultant vector, right? Now, we have seen this definition a couple of times now. What is resultant vector? We say it's a single vector that has the same effect as 2 or more other vectors acting together, right? And then 2.2 says, draw a closed vector diagram to show all the forces acting at point O. Indicate 2 angles in your diagram. So you can see that they said a closed vector diagram, which suggests to us that this whole system is at equilibrium, right? So, okay, how do we do that? Remember, we are just supposed to indicate this in terms of X, Z, and Y. Okay, so again, we're drawing the triangle of forces. All you have to do is start with the horizontal force, which is your Z here, representing your weight. And then if we are to take the Y, so just like that, connect it directly like this. And then this is your X. Make sure you connect it exactly like that. Then voila. And then all you have to do now is indicate your arrows, because remember, every time we draw this, we draw it based on the tail to head method. So from tail to head, from tail to head, and then from tail to head. And then let's go ahead and just label this. This is force Z, this is force Y, and this is force X. But remember, they said indicate 2 angles in your diagram. The angles that we have are the correct angles to put in the diagram, because as we can all see, these are the angles that are between the normal force, right, and the force, right? The normal and the force. So between the normal and the force. So, okay, that means for Y, we are supposed to put the 60 degree there. And then for X, we are supposed to put the 30 degree there, right? So we have indicated that. And then we know since we have 60, 30, this here is a box of 90 degrees. So for 4 marks, that's all you needed to do. Draw your closed vector diagram. Now 2.3 says using, so let me indicate that this was 2.2. Then 2.3 says using the vector diagram in question 2.2, identify the string that exerts the largest force on point O, and then give a reason for that. Which one exerts the largest force? Now, this is very obvious. We can see that it is definitely the Z. If you are considering that we have a right angle triangle, right? We know from our grade 9 that in a right angle triangle, the side that has the largest value here, or the largest side of a right angle triangle, is always the hypotenuse side. So from your right angle triangle, you only have to look for the hypotenuse side, and your hypotenuse side is Z. Therefore, that's the one, right? So we can say this is Z, and then we say Z is the largest force opposite to the largest angle. Opposite to the largest angle, right? As we can see, we know that the hypotenuse side is always the longest side of the right angle triangle, or the largest side of the right angle triangle. So therefore, it is definitely Z. So that's all we needed to indicate there. Also, you can say Z is the hypotenuse, right? Also, you can say Z is the hypotenuse. There is nothing wrong with that. Now, to calculate 2.4 now, let me just erase here because I still need that diagram. So to answer 2.4, from the diagram that I drew in 2.2, it says the mass of object P is 0.25 kg. Calculate the magnitude of force X and force Y. Now, we do understand that since we have this, we can use SOHCAHTOA because it's a right angle triangle. But then in order to use SOHCAHTOA, we need to at least have the value of one of the sides here, right? At this moment, we don't have the value for Z. We don't have the value for X or Y. But then here we are given that the mass of the object P is 0.25 kg. Z here, we can all see that it's in the place of W weight, right? So we can actually find the value of Z by just calculating the weight of the object P, right? So we'll start by finding Z. Then we'll say it's equals to W, which is M times G. And then what's our mass? That's 0.25 multiplied by 9.8. That will give us what? 2.45 newtons, right? 2 decimal places. Now that we have that, we can now put it here. That's 2.45 newtons. So meaning we can now use SOHCAHTOA to calculate the value of X and Y. If we are referencing from the 30-degree angle, we can say that, okay, this is our adjacent side. You can see that. Let's say we are referencing from this 30-degree. This is our adjacent now. And then here we have our hypotenuse. So we can use cos. So that's cos 30 degrees is equals to adjacent X and then hypotenuse 2.45. Now, to calculate the value of X, we need to say 2.45 and then cross multiply with the costate. Then this will give us a value of Fx will now be 2.122 newtons, like that. And then to calculate Y, to calculate the force of Y, let's just change color. If we are still referencing from the 30, we can say this is a Y sine what? Sine 30, because if we are referencing from the 30, the Y is now the opposite angle or the opposite side to the angle. And then this is still our hypotenuse. So note that the 30 is here and then the Y is the opposite and we still have our hypotenuse. So sine is opposite of our hypotenuse. Our opposite is Y and our hypotenuse is still 2.45. So to look for Y, we need to say 2.45 sine 30 degrees, right? Then this is Y is equals to, if we punch all that into our calculator, that's a 1.225 newtons, right? Then that's how you were supposed to calculate the magnitude of both force X and Y, right? So since they said force X, you can indicate this one here as Fy, and then also the other one, you can indicate it as Fx. Really doesn't matter though. So yeah, you can say this is Fy, and then this is Fx, and then this is force Z, right? Okay, so that's how you were supposed to approach the question and tackle the question for a total of 12 marks. Please, if you have enjoyed the lesson, press the thumbs up button. And then if you've been watching the videos and haven't subscribed yet, please smash that subscribe button. But most importantly, please share the link with your friends and classmates so that they may also find assistance. Do not leave them in the dark. Remember, do not be selfish. We are winning as a team.